Okay, continuing with number 9. Now it says a rectangle, use an algebraic expression to solve the problem. A rectangle is 5 times as long as it is wide. So if I stop right there and I write this out, you think about what a rectangle is. We have a length and we have a width. And they're saying that the length is equal to 5 times the width. So let's erase that. So there's that taken care of. Now it says the perimeter is 110 centimeters. Well, we know that a perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because all it is how much fence do we need to go around the yard. That's perimeter, right? So it's a length plus a length plus a width plus a width, which is 2L plus 2W. And they're stating that our perimeter is 110 centimeters. So 110. So there's your basic setup of your equation. Let's put it all together. So it's saying the perimeter, 110, is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And we know that the length is 5W. So this becomes 110 equals 2 times 5W plus 2W. They want us to find the dimensions of the rectangle, which is what is the length and what's the width. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. So that's 1 decimal place. Now let's solve. So 2 times 5W is 10W plus 2W equals 110. And then 10W plus 2W is 12W. And now we are going to divide each side by 12. And so W equals, and let's simplify this. Both are divisible by 2, so 55/6. Right? And let's put that to an improper fraction. 6 goes into 55 9 times with 1/6 left over. But it said round to the nearest tenth. So we need to get this in decimal. Well, 1 divided by 6 is 0.16 something. So we're going to round that up to the nearest tenth. 9.16 is going to be approximately 9.2, which is equal to our width. So we're going to say our width is approximately equal to, approximately equal to 9.2. So there's half of our dimensions, okay? And we use the approximation, the curly equal sign, because it is rounded. So now we need to go back and find our length. And we said the length was 5 times the width. So now we're going to take our width, which is 9.2, and multiply by 5. Well, 5 times 9 is 45, and 5 times 2 is 1, so it's going to be equal to 46. So there's your dimensions, 9.2 for the width, and the length is 46, and these are all centimeters. Keep your units of measure, and that's your answer. Number 10, is the following always, sometimes, or never true? Well, we have to solve. So we have like terms on each side. So we have 11 minus 9, and that's going to be 2 plus 10x equal 14x minus 4, which is 10x plus 2. Now subtract 10x from each side, and our x disappears. So they both go away, and we're left with 2 equals 2, which is a true statement. It's always true. And that's what they wanted to know. Is it always, sometimes, or never? So it's always. The next equation, again, we're going to combine like terms on each side of the equal sign first. So 8 minus 5 is 3 plus 5x equals 13x minus 8x is 5x plus 4. Subtract 5x from each side, and our x's go away, and we're left with 3 equals 4, which is a false statement. So this is never true. Next, we have a literal equation. Solve the equation or formula for the indicated variable. So they want us to solve t equal 4u over e for u. And I like to circle what I'm solving for to keep my focus. So everything else needs to go away. Oops, sorry. Come on, there we go. All right, so now I'm going to first get rid of my e. So I'm going to multiply by e because you have to do the opposite. It's being divided by e, so to get rid of it, you have to do the opposite of divide, which is to multiply. And if I multiply the right side, I must multiply the left side. So these cancel out, and I'm left with e t equal 4u. And still I'm solving for u because they told us solve for u. So now I need to get rid of the 4. So divide by 4 and divide by 4. And that cancels out, and you're left with u equals e t divided by 4. And that is your answer. 13 says what inequality represents the sentence 7 fewer than a number is at least 5. So let's break it down. We first learned on our very first lesson 7 fewer than a number. We'll let the number be represented by x. That is x, and 7 fewer than x is x minus 7. Is at least, think about on a number line what it means. Is at least 5. It means it could be 5. At the very least it's 5. So that means it can't be less than 5. But it could be greater than, right? At the very least. So it could be all of this to the right of 5, but nothing less than 5. So that means greater than or equal to. Okay, so let's rewrite this. 7 fewer than a number is at least, so greater than or equal to 5. And there's your equation, or inequality, excuse me. 14 says solve the inequality, graph the solution set. So we are solving, we've got 6 plus 3k is greater than or equal to 12. So we are solving for k. So subtract 6 from each side, and you've got 3k is greater than or equal to 6. Now divide each side by 3, and you get k is greater than or equal to 2. And that's your answer, and they ask us to graph it. So 1, 2, 3. So it could be equal to 2, but it's greater than. So fill in the dot on 2 and shade to the right. 15, now we've got 18 plus 6b is greater than or equal to 2 times 3b minus 1. So the first thing we have to do is distribute our 2 to this binomial. So 2 times 3b is 6b, and 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So we carry this down to straight copy. Now let's get rid of our 6b from this side, and that means we have to delete it from both sides, and it goes away. So we're left with 18 is greater than or equal to negative 2, which is true. And it's always true. So that means our solution are all real numbers. So I'm going to put a 0 there and color in both sides and both arrows. It's every single number in the universe will make this true. I'm going to stop here.